Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Good afternoon and welcome in to Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. This is not a test. This is rock and roll. We're here to rock it from the dump to the DMZ. Is that me? Does that sound like an Elvis Presley movie? Viva Fond du Lac. Viva Fond du Lac. Fond du Lac me, Fond du Lac me. Yeah, that's a Good Morning Vietnam reference for those of you who don't understand what's going on. My name's Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder, in for Sparky this afternoon with the gentle giant, Charlie Usen in the house. What up, Big Chuck?
I was one of those people that had no idea what you were doing.
Yeah, you had no idea.
No
Do
clue.
you know who's in Good Morning Vietnam? Do you know the star of Good Morning Vietnam?
Bill Murray.
Not a terrible guess.
Okay.
Robin Williams.
Oh, close. All
And
right.
if you love radio, you should watch Good Morning
I think
Vietnam.
I've heard of that movie now.
It is one of the greatest. Well, it's a Vietnam movie, so it's around the Vietnam conflict. But it is just an absolutely fantastic exploration into the mind of Adrian Cronauer, a real person, a real character who tried to make radio fun during the Vietnam conflict. And guess what? He worked for the military. Guess who didn't like fun that much?
Military.
Yeah, they wanted him to play music from the 40s and the 30s and have a very dry sense of humor. And he was very outlandish and outspoken. And but just, I mean, it continues the majesty of Robin Williams' brilliance on the screen. So welcome in to Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Of course, we're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My name's Mitch Nellis, coming off the Mason Crosby Show, which was presented by Verizon. We did have Jay Saunders on from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you missed that, you can text in Crosby to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line, 414-677-1250. And whatever's on your mind. You know what I like to do? I'm going to throw this out right away so you can start doing it. I want a amalgamation is the right word, but nobody knows what that means. I want a combination of your predicted Super Bowl score, because I want to put it into an Excel spreadsheet and I want to have an official Thunder Wisconsin Sports Daily score that we are predicting for the Super Bowl. I don't have any prizes to give out. If you get closest, I will give you your flowers on Monday during the Mason Crosby Show. I will give you applause, but I want you to text in 414-677-1250. Whether you text 43 times a day or whether you've never texted into a radio station ever before in your life, it's 414-677-1250, and I just need a score. Seattle 24, New England 9. That is what Tommy Wirtz had. He had the Seahawks winning 24-9. New England 27. Seattle 23. That was my predicted score. Seattle 27, New England 13. That was Mason's predicted score. I want your score. I want to see it in our text club. I have an Excel spreadsheet. Hold on. I'm going to open Excel on my computer right now. Now, if you want to call in 414-677-1250 and give me your score, you can do that as well. But I am going to put Mason's score, my score, and Tommy's score in here. Of course, I will put Charlie's score in here as well. So let's make sure I have the right scores here. I've got number lock already pressed on my keyboard, so I'm ready for that to go. All right, I've got those three scores locked and loaded. You can reach the show again, 414-677-1250 if you want to call or if you want to text in your score. You can find us on YouTube and on Twitter at WI Sports Radio, Wisconsin Sports Radio at WI Sports Radio. We've got plenty to get to on the show today. We are going to do some Super Bowl talk. We're going to talk about the NFL awards. We're going to plead the fifth at 2:20. I know it's normally 4:20 with Sparky. We're going to move that up a little bit to 2:20 today. Pete Dougherty from the Green Bay Press-Gazette is going to join us at 3 o'clock. And we're going to ask him specifically about John Schneider and about Elliott Wolf. the two general managers in this game, both from the Green Bay Packers front office tree, if you will. Charlie's got his sounds of the day as well. And then I'm done at 4. And the franchise, Tim Allen, is coming in after that. And Tim Allen's always the absolute best. Speaking of the absolute best, he's going to play back Andy Herman, the absolute best, from Inside Wisconsin Sports on the Green and Gold Update. He's going to talk some Super Bowl talk, and then they will end things with Tim and Charlie today with Austin Herdina from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Follow the money with Austin Herdina, which is always a blast. But I just want to make sure, Charlie, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great.
You feeling great?
I'm feeling great.
You are geared up for the Olympics today, which I absolutely respect. Because the Olympics officially, now I know some events already were underway the past couple of days, but they officially are underway today.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love the Olympics. I think it's fun to at least be a part of the opening ceremony and watch that, and then watch the first couple days and watch the sports that I like. Hockey's one of my favorites to watch throughout both summer and winter Olympics.
U.S. versus Canada, baby.
So it's always going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of animosity in that matchup, so hopefully it shows out on the Olympic ice as well. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And then I work at the brewery today, and we're doing like an Olympic kind of special and deal, so I'll dress up a little bit for that too. Maybe get an extra tip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you hurdle yourself down a mountain at 80 miles an hour on a snowboard or a luge or a skeleton or the toboggan?
Yeah, bobsled.
Yeah, bobsled.
I think I'd do bobsled. Yeah. I don't know about snowboarding. I'm not very balance inclined. I don't know if anybody's put it that way ever.
That's fine.
But I think at the same time, like flying down that fast, I think I could barely stay up going down like the bunny hill on most ski resorts. So I think I'm okay with that. But bobsled, I think I'm fine. You're in the
now they can go up like sideways. You can fall out. There was a practice run last week where 4 people got in and 1 person came out.
I feel like
3 people were strewn about.
I feel like I do okay. I can hold on pretty well. I've rode the bull at a bar before, and I did okay on that. So I think I could survive a bobsled.
I love that for you. Man, some people are really skewing the score on the text line. The scores are coming in fast and furious. Your predicted score, we'll get these input into, and we'll read them all off. We'll get them input into my spreadsheet as well. But if you call in, you jump to the front of the line. Let's talk to Marshall in my hometown of Whitefish Bay. Marshall, how you doing, my friend?
Well, good afternoon, Thunder. It's been a little while. I hope you're doing okay.
I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well as well, and hopefully I'll see you at Stone Creek sometime soon.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I am just enjoying some food. I had to work on snow this morning, so and did some other things today. It's been a busy Friday, but excited about the weekend. And I've got to say, right now my score is 20-13 Seahawks. My heart, of course, being a UNC grad, is with Drake, but I just think Seattle has a tremendous team. I really felt the winner of LA, Seattle. I had the Rams in that game, by the way. It was a very good game. I thought the winner of that game is going to win it all this year, and it's going to be a good game. I think it will be a good game. I think there's going to be a lot of defense, and I just guess in leaving you guys, and the Olympics, my 2 favorites are hockey and skiing, although I do like some of the other sports that you've talked about. And needless to say, there's another big game this weekend, guys, for some of us. Go Tar Heels against Duke tomorrow night from my end.
you throw out the records. It's always a blast when North Carolina and Duke get together on the hard court.
You bet.
Marshall, thank you so much for the call. Great to hear from you.
Good weekend.
You as well. Marshall drops off. You can jump on 414-677-1250. Jeff writes in on the YouTube channel. He's got 28-24 Seahawks, the same score as Super Bowl 49, just reversed. As we all remember, Malcolm Butler's famous interception and basically the end of Darrell Bevell's career. I don't know where Darrell Bevell is, but he was an up-and-coming, we all remember, Badger quarterback, up-and-coming offensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks, going to be interviewing for head coaching jobs, calls an inside slant when everyone knew the ball was going to Marshawn Lynch, and everyone knew the ball should have gone to Marshawn Lynch, and he didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. He tried an inside slant. Malcolm Butler jumped it, and the Patriots stole a Super Bowl from the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, and exactly, the ball should have gone to Marshawn Lynch, even if people are expecting it, even if a defense is expecting it. Prime Marshawn Lynch, didn't matter if somebody was expecting it. He is not going to be stopped.
Agreed.
And it took 2 yards. That's all you needed, and he could have got that no matter what.
That's exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. We've got a bunch of scores coming in on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Jason in Germantown has Seattle 26-17. We've got Seattle 31-27. Tony in Oak Creek has Seattle 34-17. Sean in Downtown says Seattle 30-20. Bucks Nation. Bucks Nation's just all in on Giannis being a Bucks score. Super Bowl School, Seattle 26-13. Seattle 45-10. Scotty Tiffany, Seattle 24-17. Somebody wants to know what brewery you're at, Charlie. I don't know if you talk about it on
I do. Raised Grain Brewery in Waukesha. I've been there for about 6 years.
Grain, yep.
Raised Grain Brewery.
Nice.
It's a good time.
Yeah. 414 has Seattle 23-13. We've got somebody agreeing with Jeff. Seattle 28-24. I think that's and then we've got what did Dan from Muskego had? He had 26-13. And then we've got 715 Seattle 33-14. Literally everyone except for me has the Seattle Seahawks winning. I will let everybody know that John Kuhn also predicted the New England Patriots to win the game. I don't think 9 to noon with Kuhn, with Rami and Brandon, I don't think they gave scores, but I do a little crosstalk with them every day at 11:45, and they did. Brandon and Rami both thought Seattle would win, but John Kuhn has a little feeling that the Patriots would win. I love it. As for those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Boston. I lived there for the first 14 plus years of my life. I moved to Glendale, Wisconsin, the day before I started as a freshman at Nicolay High School. Like literally, summer camp ended, overnight camp. My mom picked me up in New Hampshire. We drove straight to Logan Airport. She put me on a plane. I took a plane. My grandparents, who lived in Mequon, picked me up at Mitchell, and I started Nicolay as a freshman the next day. And I've lived in Wisconsin ever since. So I lived outside of Boston for 14 years. I've lived here. Well, if I'm 50, Charlie, can you do the math? What's 50 minus 14?
36.
Nice.
Bang.
I've lived in Wisconsin for 36 years. If the Packers were in the Super Bowl, for those of you watching on YouTube and watching on Twitter, I'd be wearing all Packers gear. And I would paint my face green and yellow. Today, I would paint my face blue and red. I am diehard all things Boston and Massachusetts. I am diehard all things Milwaukee and Wisconsin. I went to the University of Wisconsin. But like I said, my grandparents picked me up because my grandparents were born here. My mom was born here. But I do have a duality when it comes to sports teams. So I'm going to represent my Patriots and not feel badly about it. While representing them, to change topics just for a moment here, I was not upset that Drake May did not win the MVP last night. I would have voted for Stafford. I thought Matthew Stafford deserved it. I thought the Rams had a great season. I thought he had a great season. Yes, Drake May had a great season also. Two things can be true. And part of it, I'm okay giving the elder statesman his flowers. I'm okay with rewarding Matthew Stafford. It's not a career recognition award. He actually did earn and have an MVP season. Did Drake May also have an MVP season? Yes. That's why the vote was so close. It was within one first place vote, right? And it was between 5 total points. I have no problem with Matthew Stafford. So if you have thoughts about the MVP race, 414-677-1250. If you want to chime in on the Nicolay Law talk or text line, you can talk or text your thoughts on the MVP. I did not watch the award ceremony last night, but when I got the update on my phone that Matthew Stafford won it, I like I said, I would have voted for him. I predicted he was going to win it. I was actually surprised it was that close. I thought it would have been a little bit more. I don't know what you thought about it, Charlie.
So the final voting ended up breaking down. Matthew Stafford got 24 of the votes. Drake May got 23. Josh Allen got 2. And Justin Herbert, who was not initially in the top 5,
what are we doing?
Got 1 vote at the bottom there.
Who's voting for Herbert?
I mean,
Tommy's head just exploded.
So I will say,
no.
In defense of Justin Herbert, he spent a majority of the season with his 2 offensive tackles, 2 all-pro offensive tackles out for the entire season.
Sucks.
The interior offensive line was just awful for a
Terrible.
majority of the year. Running game was on and off because they had different players coming in and out with injuries. Wide receiver room was just okay at points. Mike Williams had his moments. Ladd McConkey had his moments. And Justin Herbert had a phenomenal season, led a team to the top, or one of the top teams in the AFC West, which is the hardest division in football, if not one of the hardest divisions in football. I think he deserved maybe some recognition. I don't know if a vote mattered in this situation. And the other thing is, I think if they were being really honest with themselves as voters, you stop making this a quarterback award all the time and say that Christian McCaffrey probably deserved more of these votes too. I think Christian McCaffrey as a dual threat for the San Francisco 49ers this season was obviously integral to any kind of success they had for another team that dealt with injuries all year long.
I think they have to acknowledge that this is a quarterback only award.
You have to say something out.
And to your point about Christian McCaffrey, I don't disagree. I would have voted for Christian McCaffrey over Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I can see that
as who won the offensive award. I don't know how close that voting was, but
I can tell you.
But more often than not, the MVP is a quarterback, and then the offensive player of the year is either a different quarterback who had better stats but on a worse team, or a non-quarterback like a wide receiver or a running back. I absolutely would have supported Christian McCaffrey, especially with all the injuries that team had, getting them to the playoffs. But for Herbert to get a vote is a joke, or a first place vote. Like, yes, he should. If you get, what do you list? Your top 3 or top 5 or whatever?
Top 5.
Top 5. Yeah, you can get votes, absolutely, but not a first place vote. What are we doing here? Like that? Tell me you don't care about your vote without telling me you don't care about your vote, bro.
Jackson Smith and Jigba got 14 votes. Christian McCaffrey got 12 for Offensive Player of the Year, followed by Puka Nacua with 8, Bijan Robinson with 6, and Drake May on that list as well with 5.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. And again, Drake May had more votes there because I think people realize that Stafford's going to win the MVP, so Drake May should finish ahead in the first place voting for Offensive Player of the Year. And that's often how it works. 414-677-1250. We are getting some votes. Berto from the 414-3430 Pats. We've got another 3130 Pats, but then we've got more 2017 Seattle and a bunch more Seattle votes as well. Again, I want your votes or your predictions for the Super Bowl. What is your predicted score? Feel free to text it in 414-677-1250. And you all know that I'm going to follow that up with, what are you eating on Sunday? Like everybody who just texted in your score, I want to know what's on the menu. Charlie and I are going to get to that a little bit later this hour. But coming up next, we're going to plead the fifth. We've got a local story to plead the fifth, and we've got a national story to plead the fifth. And for those of you, there's times when it's smart to just keep quiet and times when you need the right team speaking for you. Joking is fine on plead the fifth, but injuries after accidents are serious. Knowing when to call experienced attorneys can change the outcome. Habish helps guide people through complex situations with clarity and experience. It's going to be Plead the Fifth when we come back right here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's.
It's a Plead the Fifth Friday, sponsored by Habish and Rotier. Who should have just kept their mouth shut? Who made a bad decision commenting on a topic they shouldn't have? Let's hear who you think should plead the fifth this week on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
Hey, it's Thunder in for Sparky on this wonderful Friday, this football Super Bowl Friday. Can we put in a ticket for Ed, please? We need to clear up space on this computer. Try to keep at least 10 megs free at all times, so I can't get into play any sound. I probably can on Windows Media Player, but let me. Now I can't even get out of this screen. Cancel. Yeah. This computer's so mad at me right now.
All right, I can play them on my end too.
I can get to the desktop. There we go. It is Plead the Fifth Friday, sponsored by Habish and Rotier. Quick shout out to Habish and Rotier, a Wisconsin law firm that's been around for nearly 100 years. And we're here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, just loving life and living the dream. And I'll be honest, we miss Sparky a little bit. Like, Sparky's out, and I'm sure he'll be back soon. But he's out today. So let's start. Plead the Fifth again is that time where maybe somebody should have kept their mouth shut a little bit in the world of sports, or just the world. Doesn't even have to be the world of sports, right? It could just be the world. Maybe they should have kept their mouth shut. Maybe they overspoke, overshared, predicted something that didn't happen. If you have any nominees, feel free to send them in, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also call and let us know who you think should be in there as well. But I'm going to start. Oh, what did I have there? What do I have? Oh, I probably have YouTube running, huh? This should have been muted. It was not muted. That was, you got to hear our buddy Trevor for a second there, talking with Tommy
nice
on an
voice,
old
at
feed.
least, you know?
Yeah, the dulcet tones, man. He's got such a radio voice. All right, let's try it here. I'm going to start national. I'm going to start with the Super Bowl. I'm going to start with the man who won lots of Super Bowls with the New England Patriots, but now works for Fox and gets paid $300 and something bazillion to not have an opinion. And he was on Let's Go with Jim Gray talking about who he's cheering for in the Super Bowl.
Listen, I don't have a dog in the fight in this one. May the best team win. And in terms of the Patriots, this is a new chapter in New England, and I'm glad everyone's embraced the Mike Vrabel regime, all the amazing players that have worked so hard to get their club to this position. We did it for 20 years. There was a little bit of a hiatus in there, but the Patriots are back, and it's a very exciting time for everyone in New England. Listen, I don't have a dog in the fight in this one.
Really? Really, bro?
There's no shot, dude.
I mean, the way he does say after saying that like we did it for 20 years and it's great to see the Patriots and Vrabel, a former teammate of his. Come on, bro. Like we know you work for Fox. Everybody knows. We know that you're a part owner of the Raiders. Everybody knows. You're allowed to say, I played for that franchise 20 years. Who do you think I'm rooting for? And just leave it at that. Like, you don't have to show up like me wearing your Drake May jersey. Right? Drake May. Right. You don't have to do that. I'm okay with that. But come on, bro. And so I love, some of his former teammates clapping back at him. Vince Wilfork was on WEI in Boston.
So I got to get your verdict on the game. I don't have to ask. Okay, good. I mean,
Teddy got to say the same response.
Yeah,
but Tom hasn't given an opinion, and we're waiting for an opinion from Tom.
That's bull crap, Tom.
Thank you.
That's bull crap, Tom.
Thank you.
Come on, Tom.
Now.
Why won't he give
all that political? This ain't political.
Yeah.
It ain't political. What it is.
Yeah.
Raiders ain't in it.
Yep.
Thank you, Vince.
That's right.
Say what it is, bro. What you see.
Yep.
You want to come back and say, hey, I'm a Patriot for life, then you should be rooting for him.
Man, look, at the end of the day, if you're a Patriot for life, you know what it is. Don't give me that political bull crap. That's just what it is.
That's it.
That's just what if you don't think we're going to win, just pick Seattle then.
Right.
Yeah. Don't straddle the fence.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Don't straddle the fence.
Thank you.
That's what I said.
Thank you.
Now, I like Vince Wilfork, kind of making it funny and not getting after him. I know Asante Samuel, lost his brain on Twitter and was like, wants to fight Tom Brady now.
Tom Brady, I am highly disappointed in you not rooting for your ex-teammate, Mike Vrabel, who is about to do something special. I'm going to fight your ass up one of these mornings, tag Brady, let him know I'm on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
All right, well, Asante, good for you, bro. Good, like a little much there, a little much. And so that is our first entrant into the Habish and Row tier. Plead the Fifth Friday. You can go to Habish.com. That's Habush, Habish.com. National reputation, hometown service with our friends at Habish. But like Habish is a local company, we got to get a little more local on this one. And man, this is just the best. Was this not the best? Come on, everybody.
Milwaukee Bucks have started to indicate to teams that they are keeping Giannis Antetokounmpo through the trade deadline, through the remainder of the season. And my understanding is Giannis has communicated to the Bucks for months now that he believes the time is now for these sides to part ways, and that essentially led and forced the Bucks to at least listen to calls, listen to aggressive trade pursuits, and exchange concepts with teams. These sides engaged, but they never progressed to even close on a deal over the last few days. And now they're pushing this to the second half of the season, to the offseason. The Bucks have the rest of the season now with Giannis. But teams involved believe that the Bucks might truly feel that they can potentially build a contender around Giannis this summer and get him back on board to being there this summer. And so that is the one thing to keep an eye on here. The Bucks genuinely believe that they can try to build a contender around Giannis in the offseason once again. So now in October 1, that's an interesting period to monitor. He's extension eligible.
Is he like a computer glitch broken? Like what?
Kind of what it seems like.
Did he say anything of any reasonable logic in that minute 7-second rambling soliloquy of nothingness?
No, didn't exactly seem like it, but that's kind of been this entire past 5 months of him saying the same things and saying nothing at all. Like, I feel like that's what he does best, is say a whole lot of nothing. It's kind of crazy that, again, they put him on that center stage so often with how little he has to say most of the time.
All right, let's see what else. Let's see what some other people had to say. Here's Bill
Giannis,
Simmons.
what are you doing? Get out of Dodge. You haven't had a meaningful playoff moment since 2022, Game 7 against the Celtics, when Grant Williams shot your heart out. 2022. What are you doing, Giannis? You took an entire Olympic cycle of playoffs that you've wasted, and you could have changed it this year. And all you had to do was say, I demand a trade. I've run my course. I'm out. Please trade me. I'd like to go. Here's my list of teams. Mm-hmm. I want to be traded by whatever today's date is. Yep. And he kind of passive aggressive bit. I think he's in a worse spot now. He just lost another postseason. He could have been back in time for April. He could have been back in time with a really good team. And I think he had enough leverage with them that he could have bullied them, I think, a little bit. He gave them the title. Now it's time to go. And you just wasted another postseason.
But Bill, he didn't want to go. Like, he's not ready to go. And for you not to understand that, like, as a Boston guy, where we talk about loyalty over and over and over again, like, come on, Bill, Bill's better than that. Like, Kendrick Perkins might not be better than that, but Bill's better than that.
Definitely. I think when
here's why I disagree with you, Mandy.
Go ahead. You're up.
Bill Simmons, I think, in this clip, what bothers me the most about what he's saying in all of this, I guess, is just that, like, this idea, and you're going to get to it with Kendrick Perkins, that, like, the Bucks, for some reason, don't owe Giannis anything, and that anytime that they feel like they have the upper hand, that they are in the wrong in this situation. I don't think it's fair to the Milwaukee Bucks, who, yes, Giannis won them a championship, but have also done everything they can to make Giannis happy at any given moment. And that I think at the same time that Giannis, yes, does not owe the Bucks anything, the Milwaukee Bucks don't owe Giannis anything either. I think this is a relationship where they both trust each other and they're both working to stick around together and try to make this work as much as possible. Yep. And it's so weird that everybody's just trying to break them up around that.
Right. And that's, as we know, that's what everybody's been doing for quite some time. But if Giannis is not ready to go, and the team is not ready to part ways with him? Like, why is that the bad storyline?
Like, why does that make Giannis a bad guy? Why does that make the
Why is
Bucks
loyalty applauded?
Why does that make the Bucks the mean boyfriend on the other side? It doesn't make any sense.
Or the dumb organization.
Right. Either way.
All right, here's Perk.
But here's why I disagree with you at, Wendy. Right now, this is on the Milwaukee Bucks. Somebody need to actually call the police.
How's that working?
Let me tell you.
Working.
Hold on. Run an investigation because they holding the man hostage. The only reason that we have these reports right now is because Giannis is trying to be polite about this. He has went to those people behind closed doors and let it be known that he wants to be traded. Why are they not making the move?
Because he's not putting pressure on him. James Harden said, trade me. I'm not going to show up again to a game unless you trade
But
me.
that's not Giannis. Giannis.
And I'm saying that's what's led to this
But
situation.
Wendy, here's what I'm telling you. We're talking about a Giannis Antetokounmpo that was drafted, that came in and said, I want to win the MVP one day. I want to win a championship. Giannis actually cares about his legacy and cares about what people feel about him. And that organization knows that.
So I don't think behind the scenes, as Perk says, that Giannis went to the Bucks and said, trade me, and then was nice about it publicly. He didn't do what Harden did. He didn't do what others have done that we know have done that. I just think like they're all wrong. Like they're just all wrong. I again, till I'm blue in the face, I can make the argument that the Bucks need to do their due diligence and should have listened to offers. And maybe there was a good offer out there. Like maybe the Bucks should have traded Giannis. I can make that argument that maybe there was a good enough argument out there. Golden State offering 5 unprotected number ones or whatever, and especially with like 3 of them being when Steph is going to be gone anyway. That maybe that would have made sense. Maybe that would have brought the Bucks back into prominence over the next 5 years, 7 years, whatever that might be. Maybe it is time. Maybe Giannis is never going to be healthy again. And if we had that crystal ball, yeah, then again, it would be the due diligence. But like, again, to have this narrative that like the Bucks are holding Giannis hostage is just like a way for you to try to say words and try to sound smart when you literally have no clue what you're talking about. And Bill Simmons, Shams Charania, Kendrick Perkins, and others all have no idea what they're talking about. And we have to sit through this day after day after day. And now we have to sit through it again because it's all going to be. And yes, I get it. Giannis could come out and say, I am signing my extension October 1st. I'm staying in Milwaukee. That's not Giannis's job to do that. I know Sparky wants him to do that. That is not Giannis's job. Giannis's job is to get healthy and go play basketball. And if the Bucks trade him, the Bucks trade him. And if at some point he demands a trade, then he can demand a trade. And you know what? We'll be okay. I know, Wisconsin, that it's scary, that we're worried about that. It will be okay if that day comes. So that's what I got for you on Plead the Fifth. The national media, Shams especially, Kendrick Perkins, even Bill Simmons should be pleading the fifth. Tom Brady should be pleading the fifth. Pleading the Fifth brought to you by our friends at Habish. They do an amazing job. Their great team relies on preparation, not on guesswork. They have the deepest bench of board-certified trial attorneys in Wisconsin. So you can trust our friends at Habish. We definitely do as well. We don't just trust our friends at Habish. We also trust our friends at Wendy's because the Bucks, I just got news that Kuzma's not playing.
Yep,
you see that guy Kuzma's out? And he's actually meant a big deal. But if the Bucks could just win tonight, first of all, it'll be their first 3-game winning streak of the year. And if they could win tonight, we all get free Frosties tomorrow at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosted classic. No purchase necessary. That's pretty sweet. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win, so act fast and get that free small classic frosty at Wendy's. So get that if the Bucks win, which they could. I mean, the Pacers are favored by 1, but the Pelicans are favored by 5.5 the other night.
Yeah, and the Pacers don't have Zubac. He's not playing yet for them, so they don't get that advantage at all. Yep. I mean, they have a pretty good shot here.
Yes, this is a winnable game No doubt about it. So we will keep our eyes on that. Coming up on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, we're going to talk a little more NFL Super Bowl when we come back. Pete Dougherty at 3:00 to talk about the general managers in this matchup. Then Charlie Sounds of the Game. And then Tim Allen is coming in at 4. The franchise will be talking and taking over at 4:00. In for Sparky. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. We are still reveling and rejoicing in corporate Tommy's meeting debacle from earlier today. If you missed it, you can find the Mason Crosby Show at our YouTube channel and on Twitter and on the Odyssey app and our websites and all the good places where you find all your audio. Just search Mason Crosby. Tommy had a 1:00 meeting, so he jumped off the show. Charlie jumped on while Jay Saunders from Potawatomi Casino Hotel was on. And Tommy just was ready for a meeting. And then nobody was there. And then at 1:05, he got an email that the person couldn't get their Zoom to work. And so Tommy's oh, I'll go back on the show. And then 15 minutes later, Tommy gets all these messages that where were you?
Are you serious?
Tommy's what do you mean, where was I?
He was there.
Right, I was literally there. I was told the meeting might not happen, but I'm in the middle of producing a show.
Yeah, they knew that too.
Right. So he's just yeah, corporate Tommy.
Corporate Tommy's stressed out.
Yeah,
I feel it.
He is for sure. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. JB in the 920 says it's also gross to listen to all the different comments about Giannis and the Bucks over the past few days. And then we've got 414 saying this is media playing everyone at its finest. They suck you into their shows. That's how they get viewership. Don't disagree with that. Somebody else says, who cares? We aren't Dallas. We aren't giving him away. And I love the analysis that people have made of what the Mavericks actually got for Luka after then trading Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards. It's so embarrassing. I know Nico already got fired, so you can't fire him again. But if you could fire someone again, that would be the appropriate action. The Dallas Mavericks today should send an edible arrangement of dead fruit to Nico Harrison and be this is you. You are dead fruit.
It was that bad. And I know Cooper Flagg has played well throughout the beginning of his rookie season so far.
Kyrie Irving.
Past couple of games, he's averaged 40 points a game, essentially.
Awesome.
But they've lost all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still losing. And the rest of the team isn't good. You have so many problems that you need to figure out. And you barely got anything for Luka Doncic, one of the greatest young players of this generation.
Yeah, it's crazy. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Pete Dougherty is going to join us at the top of the hour. Just as an update, right now, the Wisconsin Sports Daily predictors have Seattle winning the Super Bowl 27-19. So I have all the scores in an Excel spreadsheet, which you can just highlight the column and it gives you the averages. It's very useful. We've got 27-19 as the average. If you want to get your score in, you still can. 414-677-1250. You can also post it on our YouTube page as well. And we still got to get Charlie's score. So we'll get his score in just a few moments as well. Also, because this is how I roll, and I'm famous for it throughout the station, not just on the Mason Crosby Show, but everybody knows. I like to hear about food. I like to talk about food. I'm here for food. I don't know if you know this or not, but we all eat. We all eat food. We all like food. That's not true. Not everybody likes food. I got a friend who just he'd be fine if he had pellets for the rest of his life that had, as long as they had the nutritional value, he would eat pellets for the rest of his life. He has no need for food, is not interested in flavor or anything. He's kind of tough to go out to eat with sometimes. He gets a plain chicken breast and broccoli with no seasoning or anything. And he's yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. So that's always fun to watch. But I would love to hear what you are eating on Sunday. I'm with the two Rumbles. It's the three of us. We are locked in. We are Patriots fans. So we don't want all the distractions. We've been invited to a couple parties. We're probably going to decline. But I think it's wings and pizza. Big Rumble and I love wings. Little Rumble and I love pizza. So I think it's wings and pizza on Sunday. So I would love to hear what you are going to eat. And I also want everybody to know how amazing everything's going to be at Potawatomi on Sunday. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. They have the main sports book. They've got the annex. Then they've got the restaurants. They've got the entire building. The game will be shown everywhere. It's going to be an amazing experience. So if you can get to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, if you can get to Potawatomi.com, look up all the cool things they have going on. You do have to be 21 to enter the casino, but everything going on at Potawatomi is going to be absolutely fantastic. Brett writes into the YouTube channel. I guess that's the YouTube dugout on this show. Thunder, on another show from out at the Super Bowl, people have been referring to the Packers as corporate. That doesn't let their players express themselves. Can you ask Pete his take? I can definitely ask Pete Dougherty his take. I can also ask Mason Crosby his take on Monday. But in general, I do think there is some of that. We do know that Josh Jacobs has, his outspokenness and his having a voice, I think has been very nice. We've heard that over the past couple of years. In general, we don't really hear from Packers players too much, especially the ones who are bought in to the Packers way, who are bought in to the Packers system. And so Brett, there is something about the way the Packers do business, and the Packers would probably say they prefer to do business that way. They want people to feel that way about how the team does business. And there are other teams with players who fly off the handle and say whatever's on their minds. And sometimes that's good. And sometimes that's not so good. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Thomas is in La Crosse. Thomas, you are on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Thunder in for Sparky today.
Boom shakalaka. What is going on, Mitch? Thunder. Ellis.
Thomas, it is so good to hear from you. How's everything going today?
It's going good, brother. Me and Sparky, funny story. Sorry if you're hearing doors closed. I'm heading actually out to get some groceries and get a haircut too.
All good.
What I'm trying to say is he has a son actually that is the same major as me, younger than me though, but somehow I've never bumped into him.
That's funny.
So that's crazy. But I do have a Super Bowl prediction, and I do want to talk. What am I eating for Super Bowl Sunday? You mentioned that right before getting to me.
Yes.
So I'll do that quick before I head out to my errands and everything. So prediction for Sunday. Get ready for it. Patriots 31.
Yep.
Seahawks 28. I think this is going to be an over-under probably of at least 50. I honestly, Mitch Thunder Alice, boom shakalaka, baby. We're going to see a high scoring game.
I like it.
If I guess. I mean, do you agree not? I mean, wait.
I mean, I did predict 27-23 Patriots. So I like points scored in this one. Hey, we're running up against the clock. So what are you eating on Sunday?
What am I eating? I'm eating pizza. I'm eating some chips. I'm eating some salsa, dill dip. I'm eating boneless wings, some candy, some M&Ms.
Boneless wings are just nuggets, right?
Yes, I do. I called into another Wisconsin sports talk radio station. I'm not going to say their name. Just out of respect for them. But they're a good station. I mean, based out of Madison. That's all I'm going to say. Based out of our nation's capital.
Yep.
Well, not nation's, but you get what I'm saying.
I got you.
They're a great show, too. They really have a kick butt show. But that's really all I got for you, Mitch. I got to check out the Mason Crosby show.
Yes, you do.
I'll hang up here and I'll let you. Oh, I hear the music, too. But can you tell me maybe sometime, will you shoot me a message on Twitter at UWL_Thomas and just tell me a little bit more about the show, maybe just in a little bit?
Noon to 2 every day, brother.
Noon to 2? I'm going to have to listen in. I'm a busy college student, but when I get the chance, I will.
Yeah,
right,
Thomas,
thank you so much.
Run. Thank you so much. Thomas jumps off. You can jump on. Oh, that was awesome. How about that energy? You can't match that energy.
Electric every time.
He is ready for the Super Bowl, no doubt about it. Well, we're getting you ready for the Super Bowl. We still want to hear what you're going to eat on Sunday, so get that into 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Pete Dougherty, Green Bay Press Gazette, coming up next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Let's go.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Let's go. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Thunder in for Sparky today. Sparky's off. I think he's already got the slow cooker going, whatever food he's prepping, maybe a pulled pork or something like that for the Super Bowl. I don't know what Sparky eats for the Super Bowl.
I feel like Fridays are usually his pizza day with his family. So if everybody's feeling a little under the weather, maybe they say pizza day for Sunday. Then I feel like that's the vibe that's going to happen.
That could work. Again, we're taking what are you eating on Sunday? We want to hear what you're eating for the Super Bowl. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all, from the Green Bay Press Gazette. Longtime Packers beat reporter Pete Dougherty. Pete, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. What's going on today?
We got a football game in a couple days, so thought we'd catch up. I especially was interested. I know you've covered the Packers for quite some time, and both general managers in this game have long history with it, come from the Green Bay Packers front office tree. So I was curious to pick your brain a little bit about these two gentlemen, and we can start on the Seattle side of things. John Schneider obviously has been with Seattle for a long, long time, but was a protege of Ted Thompson and is very highly respected throughout the NFL. Now has a second generation of Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. What do you remember about his time with the Green Bay Packers? And did you know that he had longtime general manager in the NFL destined in front of him while he was with the Packers?
The funny thing is, or the even stranger thing is, both of those guys went to the same high school, basically. Schneider went to De Pere Pennings, and then a couple of years, I think a year or two after he graduated, De Pennings combined with Green Bay Promontory to form Green Bay Notre Dame.
Gotcha.
And that's where Elliot Wolf went, was Green Bay Notre Dame. So basically they kind of went to the same high school too. You could tell, early on that John Schneider was, very ambitious and loved football. And he got promoted, he bounced around a little bit and he got promoted quickly. So I think it was, pretty obvious he was going to get a shot as a GM. You just never know how somebody's going to do till they actually sit in the chair. And of all the Wolf proteges, I would say he's the closest in temperament and approach to Wolf. Wolf was really aggressive, and I think Schneider and Dorsey were the most aggressive.
Yep.
Of all these proteges coming out. Schneider, you can tell he believes in his evaluations, and he really goes for it. And that's who he is. And he's built that team up twice. They took a pretty big tumble when the Legion of Boom guys aged out. They slipped quite a bit, and within couple really good drafts, he's built them right back up.
Well, and I think it says something. I don't know if it says something about him or if it says something about Seattle's ownership, that once the Legion of Boom went away, he was able to get quite a bundle for Russell Wilson and turn things around. And they didn't cut ties with him, even though Seattle did have a few lean years there. To you, what does that say about John and what he's been able to build there in Seattle?
Yeah, he must have a great relationship with ownership. Now, I think Seattle might have the most hands-off ownership in the NFL from what I had heard. Basically, the edict over there is do whatever you want, just don't lose money. They basically have to break even on the budget.
Okay.
And that's it. So I think all this stuff is Schneider. All these moves are Schneider. He did kind of push Pete Carroll out, and Carroll was the one who hired him. But looks like he made a really good hire with McDonald's. So they're right back there. I mean, they're not just a good team; they're a young team too.
Right. Pete Dougherty joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. And from all accounts, I mean, I never had the opportunity to meet him, but he's a good family guy involved in the community. I think as Wisconsinites, we like to say like that's something that he learned during his formative years in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, he likes to. He gives off this vibe, like you see him at the combine, especially, or at the owners' meetings. He gives off this vibe of almost like a college student or college, maybe a college professor. He carries around a backpack, and he's, a little disheveled, and he doesn't dress up ever. And I think he's got a beard right now, and his hair is always mussed up. And he just has this casual. He gives off this really casual vibe.
Yeah. But
underneath that lurks, I think, a guy who burns really hot for, he's ambitious and he wants to win and he's really competitive and works hard.
Absolutely. And so we go from John Schneider, who's general manager, and I think he's the executive, or he's the president of football operations and GM. He got a 4-year extension this offseason, so clearly that's paying off. And then we flip over to Elliot Wolf, and we know, his dad left a huge legacy with the Green Bay Packers, and it took Elliot a little while to kind of find a home in the NFL, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's been, he started scouting at, ridiculous. Like I think his first internship, he was like 14 or 15.
I believe
and he had an internship. He had it with a different team, but he was, his dad was bringing him. He showed huge interest in it as a kid. He was coming to the Packers offices as a 9 or 10-year-old. I think he was 11 or 12 when he sat through his first, the draft meetings are about 3 weeks. I think it's either 2 or 3 weeks. And he sat through draft meetings for the first time when he was 11 or 12. So this stuff is just, he's just absorbed this stuff through his central nervous system, I mean, it's like a coach's kid in basketball. He's been wrapped up in this stuff all his life. So I think he's only, early 40s, I think?
43, I think.
Yeah, and he's way more experienced than his years would suggest.
Sure.
And he got a serious look as, when they hired Gutekunst, it was basically him, Gutekunst or Russ Ball. And when he didn't get that, the Packers had prevented him from getting a shot at the Detroit GM job, which he was supposedly the front runner for, and they blocked it. So, I think when he didn't get the Packers job, it was kind of foregone that he was going to leave, and he went to Detroit, or he went to Cleveland with Dorsey.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, and then he worked for Belichick. So he's had some experience outside this organization too. But from what I understand, he's basically got them running his dad's scouting system. And, there was some question about whether he'd actually be drafting the players and picking the players because Vrabel brought in a guy with him.
Okay.
But everything I heard is just checking around with people in the league is that the May draft was that was all Wolf because Vrabel wasn't around. And even last year, he's the GM. Now Vrabel runs the organization. He's the top guy, but Wolf is the head of personnel, and he's the one making those decisions and having the greatest influence on who they pick and who they sign.
Pete Dougherty joining us here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And I think that's kind of interesting that, Elliott got to New England in 2020, and that was right as Brady was leaving the organization. Couple bad years that as a consultant and then director of scouting, Elliott made it through that. And then last year they get rid of Mayo who had been groomed to be the coach, and bring in Vrabel, and Elliott survived that. And now obviously things have turned out really well for the New England Patriots this season.
Yeah, clearly, I mean, the Crafts must have thought, Belichick must have liked him because he promoted him. And the Crafts clearly liked him because, I think he helped with the coaching search, even though it was their decision. And, they made sure that he still had a position, a high up position in the organization. Then it speaks well to, Elliot Wolf's ability to work with other people. It sounds like things have gone really well with him and Vrabel, handing him Drake May certainly helped. I mean, that's a quadruple grand slam when you pick a quarterback like that. Second year, and the guy, what was he, runner up for MVP probably? So, yeah, the Crafts must have really thought highly of him to make sure that he was kept around when they hired Vrabel.
So when we look at this Ted Thompson, we talk so much in football of the coaching trees, right? And who's from whose coaching tree. But looking at this Ted Thompson tree of John Schneider with the Seahawks for a long time now, again, as we mentioned, his second incarnation of a Super Bowl team. Elliot Wolf is now the GM of the Patriots. The Lions haven't made the Super Bowl, but you can't discount the Lions' turnaround over the past few years and what they've been able to do after really being the laughingstock of the league for years and years and years. And John Dorsey is there with the Detroit Lions. There's really something to be said for these guys who've done a pretty good job in the NFL coming from that Thompson general manager tree.
Yeah, I'd actually put Schneider and Dorsey much more under the Wolf, the Ron Wolf umbrella than Ted. Gutekunst is definitely, a Ted guy. And Schneider straddled it, but I think the more I still would say the more. But the person who had more influence on Schneider was Wolf.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's all the same. It's all the same tree. I mean, it goes directly from Wolf to, branches out to Thompson and Schneider and Dorsey, Reggie McKenzie too, and then you got Gutekunst. I mean, that's just amazing that Ron Wolf came to the Packers in '92 and he retired in 01, I think, and here we are 25 years later, and people from that, two guys from that tree are meeting in the Super Bowl. That's one of the reasons why Wolf is in the Hall of Fame is because, he's him and Holmgren. That's both the amazing thing about those 90s teams is the coaching and scouting trees that came out of that. That was just exceptional front office and coaching talent that was coming through here at that time.
No doubt about it. Pete Dougherty joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. So we look at what's going on with the Packers right now, and I know you're pretty locked in. We finally got the announcements that the signings had been made. There've been a number of coaches who have left the organization. A number went with Hafley. Obviously, Sean Mannion went to Philly. There's a new defensive coordinator in town. What do you make of some of the changes during the offseason? And what was your initial thoughts about Goody and LaFleur specifically after the collapse in the playoffs against the Bears?
I thought going after that game, I thought the safer person was Gutekunst. Mm-hmm. And I thought, 52-48, 55-45 that LaFleur, we had no history with policy to go on. So I don't know what I was basing this on other than, just a new guy wanting his new stamp. And I thought just a slight better chance at 50-50 that LaFleur would be let go. I wondered if that last loss would be a little too much. But it sounds like, policy just really liked the way those guys worked together. And he wasn't going to, let one game or a couple of bad games at the end of the year dissuade him from what he felt like he saw earlier in the year. I'm sure the injuries, were a big factor in his decision. I mean, obviously the Parsons one. So I was, mildly surprised they kept him, but, to do a 1 or 2 year extension would have been a half measure. And I think the worst of all worlds. So, if he was going to do it, then he probably should have done what he did, which was, I have to guess he's got either 4 or 5 years on his contract, including, starting with 26.
Yep.
But Gutekunst, I thought, would be back, regardless, no matter what.
Okay. And I want to ask about John Eric Sullivan and what you think. He goes to Miami and he takes Hafley. Do you, from a football perspective, is Miami going to be one of those teams a few years from now we think about, oh, that was the Packers tree? Yep. Or, is that a positive situation for those guys?
It's a franchise that has a lot of resources, and I've heard nothing but good things about John Eric Sullivan from people in the scouting world. I think he was basically, he was very influential. When Gutekunst was evaluating guys, this is the guy he leaned on really heavily. I think he's a really good talent evaluator. So it was just a matter of time before he got a job. If you've seen him in his press conferences at the draft, he comes across really well. So you never know until they sit in the chair. And ownership can be very, you're at the mercy of their whims. And if things don't go well, some of these owners make fast changes. But he's a really talented guy. And yeah, you're right. It's just it's funny. It's another guy in the wolf tree who's that tree just the roots keep going farther, the branches keep going higher, I guess is the better way to say it.
Absolutely. Pete Dougherty joining us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. Pete, do you have any thoughts about the game on Sunday? Are you going to be watching? What are you going to be eating? I ask everyone that what they eat during the Super Bowl. And do you have a prediction for us?
I'll definitely be watching. I'll be eating chili.
Okay, nice.
Made with bison. It's I don't know if you've ever had bison.
I've not had really bison chili. I've had bison, but I haven't had bison chili. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's just as well as New England is playing, and Drake May is for a second-year guy, man, he just looks great. The Seahawks are just playing so well.
Yeah.
And they have so much talent. You can't name guys on their defense. You can't name many of them, but they're just a young, really talented defense. And Darnold is playing well. So I for good reason, they're a 5 or 6 point favorite. So yeah, pretty hard to not pick the Seahawks in my mind.
And you mentioned Darnold. So do you think it's do you think it cost the general manager in Minnesota his job, not just what JJ McCarthy did this year, but how well Darnold played? And do you think there's a little, as a Packers fan, it's tough to root for Seattle because of their shared history in the playoffs. But there is a little if Darnold does well, we can rub it in the face of Vikings fans a little bit.
Yeah, they keep saying it wasn't that one decision, but the thing is, if Darnold was there, and with how poorly McCarthy played and how bad their quarterback play was, if Darnold's their quarterback, they're probably winning the double-digit games. And if they're in the playoffs, would they be firing the GM? Probably a lot less likely. So, that was a huge decision then, and they botched it.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, thank you so much for jumping on today. I just thought I was really interested in just Schneider and Wolf and that, that they're both from the Packers tree and they're meeting in the Super Bowl, and hopefully Goody can get there in the next couple of years. But I knew that you'd have the lowdown on their background and what they got through to get to where they are today. So I appreciate your perspective and jumping on the show today.
Yeah, it was funny. Gutekunst had a line at at his press conference a couple of days ago where he said, I can't remember if he said I think he might even said he doesn't watch the Super Bowl, and he said, I'm usually just hoping both teams lose because he's not there. But he said, this one's different because these are friends of his and former colleagues. So it was basically doesn't matter who wins, he's happy for whoever. But you could tell that that 5-game losing streak at the end of the season is really gnawing at that organization. So yeah, interesting game on Sunday and interesting times coming up this offseason. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I know you're a regular with Sparky on Wisconsin Sports Daily. And I don't know if you know or not, but I co-host the Mason Crosby Show. So Mason and I will definitely have you on during the offseason as we need some updates from what's going on up at 1265. How's that sound?
Yeah, that'd be great. I look forward to talking to you.
Awesome. Pete, thank you so much for jumping on. Pete Dougherty, Green Bay Press Gazette. Follow him at Pete Dougherty on all the socials, giving us some great perspective today on Elliott Wolf and John Schneider, the respective general managers in the Super Bowl. When we come back, it's Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Sparky's not going to freak out. He's not going to explode in laughter. Actually, probably he's going to do both because he's listening from home and he's like, man, I wish I was on the radio today. But he's got stuff to take care of like we all do in life. And so we should get his predicted score, though, I feel.
I could text him.
We might have to do that. Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Again, our thanks to Pete Dougherty, Green Bay Press Gazette. joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Charlie's Sounds of the Day are next. songs?
What's up?
Do you know any of these songs?
Yeah, I know most of them. This is the Offspring. I know that.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Before you
I know
took
the
this
Offspring.
job.
Like I know like bands sometimes, but like not always specific songs. Like there's some songs in here that I've never heard of and I never want to hear again.
I like that. I like that. That's fair. You know that in a world of tenders, Wendy's has decided to make something more juicy, more crispy, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here at Wendy's. Some may call them tendies, and yes, it's fun to say and even more fun to eat. We like to call them Sparkies. They are Sparkies at Wendy's. Wendy's tendies are Sparkies because Sparky gobbles them up every single day. At least it feels like that. New Wendy's signature, new sweet chili, new scorching hot. Choose one of the classic sauces, honey barbecue, creamy ranch, or honey mustard, whatever you choose. That's the perfect vessel to dip all over your tendies. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable. You'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. Gotta be Wendy's.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Mitch.
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
What do we do now?
So now I get to share my 3 favorite clips from today in sports, yesterday in sports, last night.
Do you ever do not sports?
Sometimes I go off.
Do you ever, like there's an award show?
Yeah,
or,
if there's something kind of big going on. It's
or
not
somebody
often.
like if Shaq says something, but it doesn't have to do with sports.
Yeah,
like
if it's like sports related, that's usually how I say it. Like I don't go too far off the beaten path. But like on Wisconsin Sports Weekend, when Jack and I are doing that, Jack Pembroke, he sometimes does like science, and then I call him Dr. Pembroke. So
nice.
Yeah.
Like with all due respect to Bad Bunny, I don't know if Snoop Dogg said anything this week, but if Snoop Dogg was like, "Hey, we should do the Super Bowl show every year," like Snoop and Dre and Mary J.
That was pretty awesome.
I'm here for that, man.
Awesome.
That was a great show.
Yeah, I'm excited for Bad Bunny. I don't really know any of his music, so I'm
you know what
just
he
gonna
said?
see what's gonna happen.
You know what he said?
What's that?
You ready to dance then?
No, that's
like no. He said if you don't know my music, that's fine. Just dance.
All right.
It's
fair enough.
it'll be dancing music. It'll get.
I got a little groove in me.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
All right, we can make that work.
Let's do it.
First up, we're going to kind of plead the fifth a little bit and have somebody that I think should probably be quiet after having this take. We're going to head on over to Run It Back, where Michelle Beatles was on there. And she was trying to help out her buddy Shams because he's been getting a lot of flack over the past couple of days, especially from Bucks fans. And she goes in on Giannis.
Shams Charania is our guy. We worked with him. We watched him in action. He takes it very seriously, almost too seriously. Sometimes I worry for his health. So when people try to throw him under the bus, that is very irritating. He didn't make any of that stuff up. He's getting it from somebody. I think what bothers some of us about this Giannis situation is you don't get to have it both ways, man. Some people aren't built to be villains. I understand that. They don't want it. They don't want any part of it. He's one of those types. So if you say one thing out of one side of your mouth and then stuff behind the scenes through your agent, you're still saying it. Maybe you didn't say the words out loud, but your agent did. And the agent is a part of you, is a representation of you. So he's going to get moved this summer. I just feel like this whole thing's just been a manipulative gaslighting for all of us. And if you're a Bucks fan or a Giannis fan, maybe you get to feel a little better today. Like, see, he's not going anywhere. Well, he is actually. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He'll be gone. He'll be gone this summer. So that is coming. Like
Pop off, please. Pop off.
I don't like it's okay to be a villain. Like it'll pass.
Yeah. Just more ass clownery from the big 4-letter network. That's all that is. All right, here's what we need to do. You need to create a sound folder right now.
All right.
Of everyone who says, oh, he's going to be traded this summer. Because I assume, because Bill Simmons said it, right? Beatles said it. I assume Shams has said it. I assume Perk said it. I don't know if others have said it.
I think Stephen A said it.
Stephen A probably said it. Yeah. We need this sound. And if he gets traded, okay, he gets traded. If he doesn't, we've got the receipts, right? We need to keep these receipts. We need to keep these because it's great that Michelle has Shams's back. Like that's like I have your back, Charlie. Thanks. But if you say something stupid, I'm going to say you said something stupid.
Tell me I said
I'm not
going
to say, no, I'm going to blame everybody else. No, like you are responsible for your own words. And for Michelle to say, oh, he's not responsible for his words. Now, maybe there's some truth about like Giannis never asked for a trade, but told his agents to at least explore a trade. But if he had told his agents to demand a trade, guess what? Giannis wouldn't be on the Bucks right now. They would have demanded a trade. They did not demand a trade. And for all the national people to say, oh, he demanded, he didn't demand. Now maybe shut up. You, Michelle, you look like an idiot. You are a buffoon with this specific context. You're not a buffoon in real life. Like you're not an overall buffoon, but this is complete buffoonery.
Well, and Shams worded all of his reports very carefully. The way he reports things, the first time that it came out this summer, it was talking about how Giannis was ready to explore his options. So he didn't say that Giannis asked for a trade then. No, he said he was ready to explore options. That was the report that he got back from whoever his sources are. Michelle says the agents in this. And then this time around, it was Giannis is ready for new scenery. Giannis is ready for a new team, and he's exploring options once again. It was never he asked for a trade, and everybody else blew it out of proportion. And Shams knew that if it didn't work out, he can just fall back on the fact that he never said that he asked for a trade.
Right.
That was never the case. This is all, I was just saying that he was looking at other teams, which Giannis himself has said is true. So he has that defense himself. He's built in that defense himself. You, as his buddy, don't need to go out there and try to defend him more.
That is correct. That's exactly right. Yeah. We've been saying enough already for too long. And like, you hear that I'm calm because like, I just can't get upset about this anymore. Like, it's just like, it's so much. All right. Shut up. Michelle, shut up. Bill, the Boston sports guy who I love, shut up. Stephen A should just shut up forever. Like everybody, just shut up. Like, all right, he's a Milwaukee Buck. We'll see what happens in the offseason. You know nothing. You literally know nothing more than I do. You know nothing more than Charlie does. You know nothing more than Sparky does. You don't know anything. Shut up.
Next up, we're going to hear from somebody else that should probably shut up. This is Brad Botkin. He was on CBS Sports, specifically NBA on CBS.
Just making up names.
This guy is not very well known, but for some reason he was on the main CBS Sports broadcast saying some pretty crazy things, like the Dallas Mavericks won the Luka Doncic trade.
Yeah,
the Mavericks won the Luka trade. I'm on record. Getting Cooper
after he gave the Mavs and earlier.
It's to no credit to Nico Harrison. It was lightning strike luck. But to end, they never would have got that pick. They would have been in the playoffs with Luka. To get Cooper flag,
the basketball gods definitely look down on him.
I would rather have Cooper than Luka.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Are you being serious? Like you think
right
that
now?
they're in a better spot as a franchise right now?
Not immediately, because they were a title contender right then. But if you're making me zoom out and say, who do I want on my team for the next 10 years? If I had the option right now to trade Luka Doncic for Cooper flag, if I'm a team that's not ready to win right now, there is no question that I'd rather have a Cooper.
I don't even know what to say, Charlie. Like, I know Luka's not perfect. Okay, Luka is not the perfect basketball player. He's not the perfect person. And for those of you following along at home, Luka is a little banged up right now. He's got a hamstring or something.
Hamstring. Yeah.
He's scheduled to miss tonight's game against Golden State. They don't think it's going to be much more past that. Luka leads the NBA in scoring at 32.8 points a game. He is second in the NBA in assists at 8.6. He is fourth in the league in three-pointers made with 3.5 made per game. I assume he's not double digits rebounds, but I assume he's like 6 or 7 or 8. Like I would guess 7 or 8 rebounds.
7.8 rebounds.
So yeah, 7.8 rebounds a game. He is an absolutely dynamic player that the last time he was healthy for a whole year got the Mavericks into the finals. And the Mavericks weren't good. Like him and Kyrie were good, and they had some okay players around them, but they weren't a good team. Luka is a special, like Giannis, generational talent. Cooper Flagg is really, really good. And I legit have no idea how good Cooper Flagg can be. And I don't think anyone has an idea how good Cooper Flagg can be. Cooper Flagg right now is averaging 20.4 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 4.2 assists. And he is very, very good. He'll be the rookie of the year in a year where Con Kneppel and VJ Edgecombe both also deserve to win rookie of the year. There are 3 deserving rookies this year. And Cooper Flagg is an excellent basketball player. Luka is one of the 3 or 4 best players on earth. So to say that I'd rather, now I get that Cooper is 19 and Luka is, how old's Luka? Let's see,
26. Come on.
26 isn't old.
Come on.
Like for the next 10 years, like if you're making an 8 to 10 years from now argument, sure. But over the next 5 years, this isn't even close. Like this is just like, I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to have a take. And I think we've all probably done this. I actually do think the Patriots will win. I'm not just trying to have a take. I think they will win unless they turn the ball over. If they turn the ball over, they could easily lose by 2 touchdowns if Drake turns the ball over. But no, like what? Like, come on. And I like that the guy called him out and was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
That's crazy.
No,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's all. That's all it is. It's crazy. Yeah, that's all."
Next up and last up, we are going to head on over to First Take, where we were talking about Stephen A. before, but we're not going to hear from Stephen A. Don't worry. NFL legend and kind of MLB legend too, Bo Jackson, was on that show discussing the difference between football players today versus when he played. Yesterday, we heard Joe Flacco talking about this same kind of discussion.
Educate us about the difference between football when you played it and the kind of football, quality of football you see right now on the occasions that you watch.
On the occasions when I watch, for me, back in the day, we didn't celebrate until the last second ticked off the clock. There's too much. I know that it's a different era.
Right.
It's a different game.
Right.
But too much celebrating while the game's going on. I'm like, you're getting up celebrating and you made a tackle. That's your job.
Right.
Save that for when the last second tick off the clock. As our coach said,
right.
If we're winning, when the last second tick off that clock, I don't care. You can climb the goalpost and dance a jig.
Right.
But don't do it while the game's going. Save that energy for the next play.
So Bo Jackson was known for not celebrating. But guys celebrated back in the day. Like whether it was, the Washington Redskins with like all 8 guys like high-fiving at once.
The Icky Shuffle was happening around that time, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, that was maybe a little bit after him,
okay,
but not too. I mean, there was definitely, even
was
from
the Dirty Bird Shuffle. Was that around?
I think Bo was still. Too? Yeah, I think Bo's old, man. Bo's old like me.
I'm young. Everything that was
right
before me is
before
old.
You was the same time. No, but I mean, there wasn't these elaborate ones. Now, Joe Horn, like pulling out the Sharpie and like other guys who, yes, 5, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, were doing other celebrations too, would have vexed Bo Jackson. I think there's more creativity now. I don't necessarily think there's more celebrating. I think the celebrating back then was like somebody had a big spike or like big high fives just because they weren't that creative yet. Like that wasn't like we weren't, it wasn't TikTok o'clock yet, right? It's TikTok o'clock now. So everything's got to be amazing and be a phenomenal celebration. I think Bo Jackson, isn't wrong, but I think she should have just said, I didn't believe in celebrating. I handed the ball to the ref. I spiked the ball a few times, but I didn't, I didn't believe in celebrating till the last, but I don't think that was a thing that like people didn't. I mean, listen, Barry Sanders also didn't celebrate. He handed the ball to the ref, but there are plenty of guys who spiked the ball, who gave big high fives, who did a little shimmy. Again, nothing like they do now, but now it's, and I guess what maybe he's more talking about is like every first down, every tackle is like a celebration, even sacks, like doing a dance and doing crazy stuff. Like play the game. And I don't disagree with him on that. Like if it's 3rd and 6 and you catch an 8-yard pass, like get up and be like, give the first down signal, but get back to the huddle. Don't like give me this head shake and all, stuff like that. You tackle a guy after a 4-yard run, there's no celebration there, guys. Like, play the next play.
No, guys are having fun with it. Fans have fun with it.
Yes.
Younger fans have fun with
Definitely.
it. I think back when Bo Jackson was playing, it was you wanted the working class guys that are listening on the radio to be the fans, and they don't care about celebrating as much. It kind of sounds like Bo Jackson is just a little jealous that they get to have more fun nowadays. I think that's the other
I don't think he's jealous. I think he doesn't have the patience for it. Like, I think he's more just like, this isn't the way I played. You guys want to play this way? That's fine. I don't play that way.
He says he doesn't watch any football, any baseball. That's the other thing he said. Yeah.
He doesn't watch either?
Either, at all. None at all.
I'd ask him what he does with his time. That's what I'd be curious about. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and text line here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. I'm done after the next segment, so Charlie's going to give his Super Bowl scoreboard and get things ready for Tim Allen, the franchise, who's going to be on from 4 to 5 right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. This is a Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. I'm Mitch Nellis in for Sparky today. But just for this final segment, Tim Allen, the franchise, is going to take over in the 4 o'clock hour before he makes his annual pilgrimage to the city in the desert for the big game, as he is wont to do. And I'm a little jealous, I got to be honest. He let me know today that he's going, and I'd heard him talk about it earlier this week on the radio. And I'll be honest, I am a little jealous that Mr. Allen's making his way over to the city in the desert.
A lot nicer over there weather-wise.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about that. We got plenty of messages to get to, and we got Brewer Mike on hold. We'll get to him in just 1 second. Q wanted to know who my favorite current Patriots player is and why. Christian Gonzalez is. I just like the way he plays the game. I also am partial to number 0. I wear number 0, rec league basketball. Big Rumble wore number 0 for a long time. It's not available right now, but she would if it was up to her. So I'm a big fan of 0. We've got some texts in 414-677-1250 as well, talking about 920, talking about, or JB in the 920 talking about celebrating everything and all that sort of stuff. Yep, it's something that we keep an eye on. Bison chili is the way to go as well, that he says. Let's go to the phone line and Brewer Mike in Waukesha. Brewer Mike, how you doing, my friend?
Mitch, it has been a long time, too long.
It has. Hey, I agree. What's new and exciting, my friend?
Well, real quick, how's the family? Is your daughter still playing ball?
She sure is. I'm actually headed up to Slinger tonight. JV girls basketball. She's on the JV team from Whitefish Bay, so I'll be up in Slinger tonight, still playing.
I'm at South Milwaukee tonight.
Got it. Yep.
Darn it.
Still refereeing those games.
Oh, you bet, buddy.
I love it.
You bet. Hey, what I'm eating first of all is my friend of mine has these Italian sausages, and what you do is you slow cook them for like 2 days.
Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing already.
In tomato sauce and olive oil, and
yeah,
that
sounds tremendous.
It is awesome.
Yep.
Along with that, I'm making my mom's chili.
Nice.
And boy, you better stay away from me on Monday.
I hear that. What you got a score for me, Brewer Mike?
You know what? And I'm not jumping on your bandwagon, but I've got the Patriots winning 42-17.
Wow. They just get things rolling, huh?
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Hey, Thunder, I know you got to run, but hey, tell your daughter, keep it up, and good luck to you, my friend, and God bless you, buddy.
Hey, God bless you as well. Thanks so much, Brewer Mike. Great to hear from you. Brewer Mike jumps off. You can jump on, but before you jump on, I got to hear from my man, Big Chuck, the gentle giant, the pride of Elmhurst.
Mike LaFour's kind of the pride right now.
No, he's not. He's number 2.
All right,
you're number 1.
I appreciate that.
Charlie, I need a predicted score, bro.
This whole past 2 weeks, I think it's been the Seahawks in my mind, just because I feel like that defense mixed with an offense that is just probably a little more veteran focused at this point is the one to rely on. Yep. But also there's something in me that just is screaming the Patriots these past couple of days. And I think Drake May losing the MVP trophy last night is going to put a little fire under his butt. And he's going to have the game of the season. I'm going with the Patriots in this one. I'm going to say 24-21.
24-21 Patriots. I love it. I'm on the record 27-23 Patriots. Tommy has Seattle 24-9. Mason's got Seattle 27-13.
No faith at all.
No, that's okay. I love it. I love no faith at all. I have Tim Allen's score. I'm not going to give it on the air. You will have him give it. Make sure you remind him that he gives it. But I will say the overall aggregate score that I have here is 26-20 Seattle, which is amazing because the over-under is 46.5. And with all these scores, they are favored by 4.5. So this does have Seattle covering just barely. But it's amazing. You take all these scores, and we've got 45-10 Seattle. We've got 42-17 New England. But at the end of the day, it's still with 24 different scores. comes out to almost exactly what the city in the desert says this game is going to happen. Isn't that amazing how that works out that way?
Really is the people putting it together, man.
Yes.
It all comes together, and that's why Vegas is so good at what they do, because they just know the people.
They really are. Quick reminder, want to let everybody know it's going to be absolutely lit down at the Potawatomi Sportsbook on Sunday. The Sportsbook, the Annex, is open with their Yuengling party. They got their buffet going on. So whether you're watching there or you go to their other restaurants or check out, or if you go to just play the games, play a little poker like I do. Charlie, I don't know if you know, last Sunday I played a little poker and I did a little okay.
All right.
No big deal, but I did a little okay.
I was afraid to go to the poker tables.
You got to know what you're doing. You do got to know what you're doing. That's for sure. Yeah. Maybe you and I could sit down sometime.
All right.
And we could have a little talk. Maybe you'll come to my game sometime, and we'll make that happen as well. Excited for Tim Allen to take over here. Tim Allen always has a blast, and it's always fun to hear what he's got going on, what's going on in his brain as we get ready for the Super Bowl and different wagers. I know he's going to have some prop bets and all that fun stuff that he'll have for everybody. It's been an honor sitting in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer right here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Plan is Sparky will be back on Monday, but we'll find out. Don't know.
We'll see.
We don't know. He might be, got a little overeat.
We're great with audibles over here.
Yeah, we absolutely are. So I'm just gonna say, let's go Patriots. Drake, May. Let's go. Let's get it done. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you Monday on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
All right, welcome in. Here we go. It's hour number 3 of Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. There's Charlie Houston, Tim Allen, taking you the final stretch, the turn to the finish line, but don't go anywhere at 5 o'clock. My man, Tommy Wirtz, with Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up. Charlie, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good today, Tim. It's a little bit of a little shift around with Mitch coming in first these first couple hours. Sparky called me right before the show, telling me he's going to be out of commission today, but it's been fun. I like switching around. I like getting to talk to everybody, so it's a good time.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like the spontaneity of radio and let's just roll. Hey, got an action-packed hour. We're going to do 14 hours of Brewers conversation in 1 hour.
I think we could do that.
Yeah, we probably could. I would love to. I don't know if we'll get to any Brewers information today. It's a big weekend, and coming up this hour, think about this on that Nicolay Law talk and text line at 414-677-1250. Now, you have traditions when it comes to the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people do. I've been going over to my buddy's house for 30 years, or the last 10 years, we've been hooking up at this sports bar, this club. We've been going over to my sister's house, whatever. I'm wondering if those traditions still exist, or is it just a wing job? Because Super Bowl is like a holiday. Charlie, do you do anything on a regular basis for the Super Bowl?
Not on a regular basis. If I'm around, if I'm not working, usually it's just go over to my family's house. My dad makes some mean chili, so chili is usually the go-to.
Okay.
And then maybe a couple other appetizers. We like to do just the frozen appetizers, toss those in the oven, have a little smorgasbord type of setup. But that's not a consistent thing. This year, I'm working during the Super Bowl. I went in with this mindset of maybe the Bears can make the Super Bowl. So I took off that day for work, and then the Bears lost in the second round, and I got sad. So I was like, I'll pick up a shift for work. I can't do this. I'd rather work and watch the game.
There you go. I mean, so that's sort of a tradition, going over to family house.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got wrapped up for many, many years. I got wrapped up in the hype and the celebration of the Super Bowl. I mean, even the winners I'm happy for, just because when they present the trophy, those types of things, it's still sort of energetic and electric a little bit. However, in the last, 12 years or so, I've been headed to Vegas. That's my tradition for the Super Bowl. And we just go to Vegas. Not that we're huge gamblers. Yeah, I'm going to put 3 large. Justin is going to talk to us here in just a second. But I go to the, to Vegas and just kind of all the hype around that. And that plays a lot of prop bets. And is it going to go into overtime? Is there going to be a defensive score? I like the Drake May yards rushing over in this game on Sunday. But I'm just wondering, we'll get to that in a few minutes. We will on Super Bowl. What do you do? And if it's a tradition or is it just a wing job? Years ago, I think when my son was younger, we'd set out a bunch of food. To Charlie's point, we'd set out, it was just him and I, and we'd set out some food or watch the game. But now it's sort of like this holiday. Everyone understands that. I know there's been some talk of legislation to have it a federal holiday on Monday.
Interesting.
I would dig that.
Take a nice little break. Yeah, why not?
Or at least a half day.
Right.
Have we done that ever? I don't think there's a federal half-day holiday, is there?
No, and if we had a federal half-day holiday, I think I'd rather have it on the first day of March Madness. That's always my favorite day to not want to work, is that first day of March Madness.
Bigger than the Super Bowl Monday?
The Super Bowl, you have the Sunday off usually anyways. The Monday, I'm not feeling that Super Bowl hangover all that much. I'd rather have it because March Madness is right there on on the middle of the week or opening day for baseball. Opening day for baseball would be pretty close too. I'd be okay with a half day.
Yeah. Well, opening day. Yeah. Maybe a state kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm going to start that right now. A federal half-day holiday on Super Bowl Monday.
All right. I'm down for it.
Yeah. That's good. That sounds good. You want to get a phone call in here before we get to our green and gold update?
Let's do it. Justin in Watertown, you are on Wisconsin Sports Daily with Tim Allen here. My man, Justin, what's up?
Hey, guys. First of all, Tim, great to hear you again. Can't wait for those post-game shows this year. They're going to be fun.
Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. So it started with the Packers-Steelers Super Bowl. We'd go to my buddy's house. We'd have the full spread. It was fantastic. And then my wife started coming, and it was a great time. Then the kids would come. And then this year, it's just me and my buddy hanging out. The ladies are done. They're like, we're over this Super Bowl thing. We don't want to do it anymore. So now it's just me and my buddy again, hanging out and having a good time.
All right. So you tip a few beers or just food?
Mainly just food. And then we're going to play some games probably while we watch the Super Bowl, just because I'm not really into this one. This one is not getting me excited at all. But
see, that's the time you get on square pools and strip cards and things. Or
exactly.
I got head over to Potawatomi and have a little skin in the game.
You want to hear my numbers for my square pools?
Shoot.
It's crazy. I have 4 squares. I have 0, 0, 7, 7, 3, 3, and 8, 8.
Get out of here.
Dead serious. How is that random?
Oh, man. You show off.
And it's only end of game. It's only end of game.
Just the final. Wow. You're probably going to take. You know what? You get good numbers like that, Justin. Here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to get sacked in the end zone in the late first quarter.
Or someone's going to miss an extra point.
Or an extra point, yeah. All right, Justin, take it easy. We'll get hey, have a good weekend. We'll get to more of that coming up in just a little bit, but let's get to our green and gold update for today.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right. No Steve Sparky Pfeiffer today. Under the weather here a little bit. He's on the bench. He's on the IL. We're picking up the slack here. Pinch hitting. Thunder and myself, Tim Allen, along with Charlie Hewson. This morning on Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and, it was Tommy this morning, wasn't it?
It was, yep.
Tommy. In for Josh. They had Andy Herman on from Pack a Day Podcast, our friend, and Charlie, some interesting conversations with those guys.
For sure. So Andy was very long-winded with a lot of answers, kind of questioning and defending also Brian Gutekunst and his press conference this past week, where he said a lot of things that some people weren't happy with, some things that people were pretty happy with. One of the things that a lot of people were not happy with in that press conference from Brian Gutekunst was the way he talked about the special teams and Rich Bisaccia. This first clip here is Andy discussing if he felt like Goody defended the special teams in the right way and why he still has faith in a Rich Bisaccia.
That's a great question. I don't know that I fully...
it's a great question because that's what you asked.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, a couple things. I think one of the things, let me start by saying this. I'm not team hashtag Rich Bisaccia. If it were up to me, which it's probably thankfully not, I would probably have tried to do something different and just change things up at this point. But I think when we say special teams, that's a vague term for everything that goes on. There's a lot of different aspects of special teams. All right. So there's kicking, there's punting, there's coverage units, there's return units, there's the blocking up front. There's a lot of different things that is encompassed within special teams. There is some aspects of that Rich Bisaccia has control over. There are others that he does not. What I would say is, if you look at how they've kind of pieced together the special teams and what he kind of has under his control, or what maybe went well, the coverage units were actually very, very good. In fact, they were some of the top coverage units, both on punt coverage and kick coverage in the NFL. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
Yes.
They do have one of the best punters in the NFL, and he punted very well. I do think that they pointed out that Matt Orzik has done a great job as a long snapper. I'm going to take him at his word. I can pretend to be a lot of things. A long snapper evaluator is not one of those things. I'm going to take him at his word that the long snapper is doing a darn good job. Awesome. That's great. The two areas where Green Bay has struggled, that's cost them for the most part, has been in the return game and has been specifically at the end of the year with Brandon McManus and missing kicks. Let's start with the return game. It's a little bit tough on Rich because they didn't give Rich a returner other than Keyshawn Nixon, which I will be willing to bet you just about anything that it's not Rich Bisaccia's idea not to play his best players on special teams. That's somewhere between a Keyshawn Nixon and a Matt LaFleur issue. If it were up to Rich, he would get all 53 players at his disposal to play special teams. So they didn't give him a returner. Savion Williams was an okay kick returner at best. Matthew Golden didn't really work out. Jaden Reed was hurt as a punt returner. Even he has not been great. So it's tough to have a great return unit when you don't have a returner. And as far as field goal kicking goes, early in the year when they had the blocking issues up front where they were the block kicks that we saw it a year ago as well, that's a Rich Bisaccia problem. They didn't have Elton Jenkins and some of their best linemen on the kick, on the field goal block units early in the season. I would once again propose that that's probably not Rich's decision. If it's up to him, again, he wants all 53 of his guys. And if you don't have access to those and Brant Banks is in there and is allowing an issue, again, you can only sometimes do so much. The other thing is for the actual kicking itself, for Brandon McManus, I like how Justice Mosqueda defined this. Kickers are basically like independent contractors. There's not much that anybody can do to say, hey, make this field goal better. Like he's going to work with his individual kicking coach in the offseason and things like that. But at some point, as long as the snap is good and the hold is good, which for the most part, I think they were throughout the course of the year, the kicker has to go out and make his kicks. And if he doesn't, it's really hard to point at Rich. What the heck, buddy? Why didn't Brandon make his kick? I don't know. He didn't. And so again, I'm not out here to defend Rich Bisaccia. I think at some point in time, over a 3-year period of time, when overall you're ranked in the bottom 3 of special teams pretty much every single year, guys, if you give me minimal stuff to work with in my job, it's still my job to figure out how can I make this work and how can I find creative solutions to make this work one way or another, even without ideal circumstances. And I don't think Rich has done a great job of elevating it to that level. But I will say the areas where he sort of has control over, where they've given him tools to succeed, he has succeeded. And the areas where it's kind of out of his control, they didn't give him the tools, those areas have failed. Again, not here to defend him. I think that's probably a little bit of the thinking. Do with that what you will.
Yeah, sounds like he's defending him. It sort of does, but there's some facts in there, which lends to the discussion. I'll just say this. It's Andy Herman, Pack a Day Podcast, our friend here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It does sound like he's defending Bisaccia. And there are some, this is where the analytics come into play. It's almost like, and I've used this quite a bit over the years. It's like radio ratings. You can slice and dice them up to look horrible or slice and dice them up to look great. It depends on baseball numbers too. You can say, well, fielding independent pitching says that the ERA isn't exactly the barometer of how good a guy pitches. Or, again, I could go on and on with how the numbers crunch goes. I will just say this. The Rams were on the doorstep of the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Charlie?
Yep. They were right there. Just lost to the Seattle Seahawks in that game before, but we're looking pretty good.
Did they not fire their special teams coordinator with like a month left in the season?
Yeah. It was pretty immediate. It was kind of a really strange move from their perspective because it hadn't been their biggest problem overall, unlike the Packers, where it was like detrimental to the way they won or lost games.
And a lot of Packer fans are just thinking about, well, if there's ever change for change's sake, that might be the one. And again, I get to Andy's point there about how can the special teams coordinator help it when a field goal kicker shanks a kick?
Right.
Or somebody muffs a punt.
Yeah, that's not their job.
Is it their fault exactly on that play? Or are they ultimately held accountable? I believe it was the Ram game. Didn't somebody muff a punt for the Rams and then pretty soon we had, what was it, Puka Nakua back there returning a punt?
Yeah, they immediately made a change. Exactly.
So that's the volatility of how the NFL is working these days. I don't know. Maybe change for change's sake. I don't know. And there's also something to be said about stability too. You have to incorporate that into it. You can't, be so quick to the trigger that every time something goes wrong here and in the minute you fire someone or make a big change. Something to think about, something to keep in mind. All right, there's your green and gold update. We are just a few, 48 hours from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's getting close.
Literally 49 hours from right now. We'll be hearing the national anthem. Somewhere right around here.
Always gives you the goosebumps.
Oh, see? And even though your teams aren't into it, it's still that thing for us sports nuts, And I would like to know, because I'm out of the loop now. I don't go to a buddy's house. I don't go down to the bar. My tradition now is to end up in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. The only time I've missed it in over a decade is when the Super Bowl was actually in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. I didn't want to deal with that madhouse.
That makes sense, yeah. I don't blame you.
Because I would imagine it was a madhouse. So I chose the wild card weekend that year. That's a few weeks in advance of the Super Bowl. But are you guys still going to parties? Are you going to clubs? I got a place that you could go to really step it up and start your own tradition. And it's in the Milwaukee area. But that Nicolay Law talking text line, I'm curious about that, about what you do during the Super Bowl. Or is it just a normal day? You might have the TV on and might be working in the garage or the basement or just hanging out with the family, kind of catching the game. You have nothing involved in it. You don't like either one of these teams. Maybe you're not on any square pools, strip cards, or have any tickets out. So that Nicolay Law talking text line is 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. There's Charlie Houston, Tim Allen. We are in picking up the slack for a under the weather Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tim Allen, Charlie Houston in for the injured Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. I don't know if he's told this story in a while. Speaking of Sparky injuries, Charlie, years ago, I think him and another colleague, it might have been Rami, another colleague, they figured they'd have some sort of foot race. I don't know, 50-yard dash or whatever it was.
Right, of course.
And he ended up injured on that event.
Like just pulled a hammy or something?
I think he did, yes.
Of course he did.
There comes a time where age will get you, and you have nothing to prove here.
See, that's if he wouldn't do it today because there's too many cameras. That's the problem. Like he'd know I'd be filming him, and that if he got hurt, then I'd be laughing at him like Rami probably was that day.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Rami may have been injured too in that event.
Of course.
I think a lot of people would like to see that. I think a lot of people pass judgment on sports talk show hosts. You guys are a bunch of nerds. You never played the game ever. You know, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Now, you played at the college level, so you don't count.
Yep.
You're an actual collegiate athlete.
Yeah, but it was also like it wasn't the top tier college athlete. I'm not John Kuhn or Mason Crosby out here. Like if those guys wanted to race against me, I might be done for against them.
Over the holidays, we got to talking about my girlfriend's kids who they're like 33 and 30. And they were talking about their 40 time. And they asked me, "Hey Tim, what do you think could you crack 8?" And when someone says that to you, your knee jerk is to say, "Are you kidding me? I could do that."
Right.
But then you think about actually doing it. And I'm not a big fan of physical labor. That's why I chose this industry.
Okay, fair.
So it might have been one of the first times where you just say, "Yeah, I think I could, but who knows? Who knows?"
Yeah, you don't want them actually find out.
I don't want to find out. Not at all. But yeah, Sparky is on the shelf here, and we're going to finish up Wisconsin Sports Wrap Up with Tommy Wirtz coming up in about a half hour. And it's Super Bowl weekend. We are 48 hours from kickoff, and you're making plans. Food is a big thing. I think at most Super Bowl events or get-togethers, whether that's in somebody's house, in the man cave, in the basement, garage, wherever, you might have a bar in your basement. You've been hosting a Super Bowl party each and every year for I don't know how long. As a kid, I grew up in a household with 4 cackling hen sisters and a burnout brother that wasn't really into sports. And my pop worked all the time, so I was just on the sports island by myself, just stranded. The first Super Bowl I remember really getting into, and just I don't know why or where or how or whatever, I was in our den, and it was Super Bowl 10. Now, okay, yeah, that tells you how old I am. But Super Bowl 10 was fascinating to me. It was Pittsburgh and Dallas. And they were 2 iconic 70s type teams. I was 11 years old. And the opening kickoff was a reverse to a guy named Thomas Hollywood Henderson. I think it was Henderson on a reverse. And I just sat and watched and went, "Oh my, what? Wait a second. On the kickoff, there's a reverse." And it was by myself. Subsequent to those years, I think I made mention of this a lot about me being shutterbug. I was into taking my own pictures and developing my own stuff, and had acid, and would do all the developing. It was black and white. I couldn't afford the color chemicals, but all black and white. I remember then pointing my camera at the TV to take pictures of the Super Bowl. And it didn't work great, but it worked good enough. Right. And that was Super Bowl 12. So a couple of years later, Denver Denver, Dallas, maybe, taking pictures of that. So then you get up on years a little bit and you get into that 20s range and partying range. What are we doing for the Super Bowl? Where are we going? Then it was a lot of out in the bars. Where are we going to check out the Super Bowl? Is it the corner crappy little hangout? Is it more of a club? And it, at that point, it was all bets are off. That was not New Year's Eve type caliber, but it was an annual drinking affair.
I feel like you got to go to the places where the football fans are. Whether it's the club or whether it's the crappy corner bar, dingy over there, where there's only 5 guys, but as long as those 5 guys are talking to you about ball, I think that's what matters. And I think going around people and not just being around people who are just standing around not celebrating it, but the people that are engaged in the game and are having a good time with it, that's where you want to be.
And what's interesting is the 1 year, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago, the bartender working at this corner bar literally allowed someone to play the jukebox in like middle of the second quarter. And we were just about ready to just pick it up and just take it out and put it in the middle of the street. Are you kidding me? This is the Super Bowl. Yeah. So what do you guys do during the Super Bowl these days? House party? You go out? Is it couples night? I mean, there's so many different things. And again, I only ask this because I'm out of the loop now. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't go to Vegas for the Super Bowl. We attend those all-inclusive Super Bowl parties in Las Vegas. I've tried just winging it in Las Vegas, where you just find a bar and just watch. Dangerous proposition. In Las Vegas, dangerous proposition. I mean, the 1 year we attempted that, we ended up sitting at a slot machine adjacent to the sports book. Until we finally got a clue and pay the money so you have a banquet room or whatever. I will recommend this. Theater seating is probably not the way to go because you end up standing in line to get your drinks during the game.
Sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. That was tough. Let's hit that Nicolay Law talking text line at 414-677-1250. We say hello to Doug. Doug, welcome to Wisconsin Sports Daily.
Hey, I introduced myself to you Friday. I don't know, you were kind of busy.
Doug, nice to meet you again.
Yeah. Hey, we used to have a party at my buddy's house. His dad bought a house for them to rent. And I remember betting on Buffalo for 3 years in a row. And the loser, every time the other team scored a touchdown, you had to do a beer bong.
Oh, okay.
3 years in a row, I never made it home that night.
No, because there were blowouts at that time.
Yeah, because Buffalo got killed.
I mean, those scores, Doug, you may agree with this, that run there, it wasn't just Dallas Buffalo, but it was the surrounding Super Bowls around that. It seemed like it was what were we calling it back then? A super blowout or a Super Bowl?
It was somebody's getting messed up blowout.
Yeah. And you know what? And these days, these Super Bowls have been dynamite. They really have. They've been great.
Sure. Well, I just wanted to say hi, and I'll be listening. You know, I'm not as much a Brewer fan as I am a post-game fan.
Okay, so the entertainment.
I don't miss many post-games.
All right, good to bring it to you here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Doug, it was great meeting you and seeing you on Friday, too.
All right, bye.
Yeah, he was talking about a band gig and a post-gamer listener party that we had this past Friday. Well, a week ago, yeah. Speaking of which, if you guys want to see another band event, it's not a post-gamer party. You're in the Kenosha area tonight. I'll be with an oldies band, not my main band, but an oldies group at a place called the Lotus Bar on, I want to say 60th Street in Kenosha.
I can look it up for you.
52nd or 60th, one of the two. But yeah, 7 to 10 tonight. And then off to Las Vegas to enjoy the Super Bowl.
60th, you're right.
Is it 60th?
Yep.
Okay, 60th Street. Charlie's telling me, and I live in Kenosha. Okay.
As I say, I don't get down there very often. I got Google to help me out.
What I do miss, I will admit, is the post-game festivities after the Super Bowl. I do miss that because you don't get that in Las Vegas. The game ends and you're off and running. You're on a roulette table or a blackjack table or video poker or whatever.
Got everything to do.
I do miss that part of it because there's some energy, even though I'm not a team most all years these days of, I'm not a fan of these teams that are in it. But I did get caught up years ago when I was not going to Las Vegas in that post-game celebration. For example, I'll go back a couple of weeks to the championship Sunday, AFC, NFC title games.
Right.
I really got wrapped up into that Seahawks celebration. For whatever reason, I don't care about the Seahawks. I really don't, unless my fantasy players are on them. But I got wrapped up into that, Charlie. I think you and I talked about that game.
We did, yeah. We were going through both of those championship games and just kind of how wild both of them ended up being. I just feel like this playoffs in general, especially compared to the past few years, has just been electric. It's just kind of had that feeling, had that buzz throughout it. No matter if your team was knocked out right away in the case of Packers fans or knocked out the week after in the case of Bears fans, if you're just talking about in division, it feels like every game that I've watched so far has had some kind of juice to it where the teams feel like they're just extra energized along with the fan bases. And it's made for a really fun viewing experience, which is why I think it's kind of weird that so many people are saying that the Seahawks are going to blow out the Patriots in this one. Because when I look at this game and I look at what this playoffs has led up to, I don't see how that's going to be the case. I see two teams who have fought their butts off to get to this point, and they're going to keep fighting their butts off in this Super Bowl matchup. I talked about with Thunder. I mean, the fact that Drake May losing the MVP, just brings this whole other juice to his storyline too in this game. And what is he going to do as that MVP runner-up, a guy that led it all season long? Sam Darnold's looking to finish that story of being somebody to nobody back to somebody. That's a really cool storyline. I mean, it's really hard not to root for at least one of these teams in this game.
And so you find yourself swerving all over the road when it comes to who do I like in this game? 2 weeks ago, right away, I was all over New England.
Okay.
And not real solid, but yeah, I was on them. I think New England could win this thing. I love Mike Vrabel. Or verbal, as it were. But now at 13, 12 days later, now I'm starting to lean over to the Seahawks side. Does this make sense?
You know what's hilarious is, again, talking with Thunder earlier, I was the exact opposite. For the past couple of weeks, I've been in on the Seahawks. I've been saying that I feel like their offense just has a higher floor than the New England offense does. And because of that, they're going to guarantee at least some points over there. But the more I've thought about it and the more I've kind of been paying attention to the way other people have talked about this game, I'm leaning more towards the Patriots. I think I'm more in on the Patriots and the juice that they're bringing and what Mike Vrabel is preaching over there. It's the exact opposite. I flipped from Seahawks to Patriots. I'm swerving all over too.
We're going to talk with Austin Urdina from the Potawatomi Sportsbook in just a couple of minutes here. I like a value bet. I do. And that's initially what I thought. On the Patriots money line, I mean, I like that value there. But then over the course of 12 days, does this make sense as you process all this? Does it make sense if I bet on the Seahawks and lose, if I lay the points and lose, I'll be okay with that.
Okay.
But if I bet on New England's money line and the Seahawks not only win the game, but they cover, that one would be tough for me at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that.
I'm trying to justify
I think Austin will definitely be able to kind of help you justify that a little bit.
I think so. But just sitting watching the game for the game's sake is great. As a football fan, the NFL is second only to Brewers baseball in my world. most people's world, it's Packer football and then the NFL. But now that the Green Bay Packers are not obviously in, do you still get hyped up over the NFL Super Bowl? I do. There's this just energy in the air. I don't know why. I mean, I don't. You can't try and figure out feelings. You just go with it.
Just happens. Just the vibe.
Nicolay Law, talking text line at 414-677-1250. You want a break here, Charlie, or?
Yeah, we should take a quick break. Austin's waiting in queue, ready to go.
Okay.
He's got lots of great picks for you guys.
Yeah, and I'm wondering on a couple of wagers myself. I was just at Potawatomi Sportsbook just like 10 days ago or so, making some baseball wagers. So we'll talk to Austin after the break here. In for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer today, feeling under the weather. We're finishing up Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tim Allen, Charlie Houston in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Dangerously close to the weekend, and that just has fun written all over it because we've got the Super Bowl on Sunday, but you've also got other things going on. And I would recommend this too, having a little experience wagering on the Super Bowl. You might want to place some of your wagers early than to wait till Sunday because things get a little hectic on Sunday. You might want to get those wagers in a little ahead of time. And that being said, we'll hit the guest hotline for Law, one call in from the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Austin Erdenia. Austin, hey, great talking to you.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Is that my system, or is he acting a little?
He might be acting a little weird. I'm gonna take that.
You hear that echo?
Yeah, Austin, I'm gonna give you a call real quick. All right.
Yeah, Austin, we're gonna recalibrate and rehook up here. We'll get to Austin from the Potawatomi Sportsbook, but again, go into Potawatomi Sportsbook tonight or tomorrow and place your wagers. I promise you'll be happy. You go in there. I mean, they're going to help facilitate. They get dozens of kiosks. There's no doubt about it. And then the windows, mutual windows. But to get them in, it's a nice, peaceful, easy feeling getting those things in there. Who do you like? Where's the money going? Let's follow the money with Austin Erdenia. And where is that money going? MVP? I mean, the easiest wager to make, I think if you're not familiar with sports wagering, it's just who you like to win the game. Austin, we welcome you back, but thanks for the time, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Sorry about the connection.
Oh, no, you're all right now. It's loud and proud. All right, so I know there's dozens of kiosks. I know you've got the infrastructure to get as many people in there as we want. But I will say this. It is a nice, peaceful feeling having the wager already in your pocket because you went to Potawatomi Sportsbook, I don't know, tonight or tomorrow. Things could get a little hectic on Sunday, but you guys can get the wagers in as long as you're there early, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been ready since the game was announced. I mean, basically since the lines were up almost 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, we have plenty of ticket writers here for you, plenty of the kiosks ready for you. Anyone that wants to come in tonight, anytime tomorrow, all day Sunday, we are ready for everyone.
All right, very good. So let's follow the money a little bit. I'll tell you where I was at just so you're aware here. And I know a lot of people just they waver, they swerve a little bit to another lane. And 2 weeks ago, I was really hip on my first reaction was New England. I like the value on the money line for New England. And then 12 days later here, Austin, I've almost switched to the other side, going with Seattle. Where's the money going here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook?
Yeah, Seattle's been getting all the money from us. Seattle and on the money line as well as the spread, the over in the game. Those are the things that are getting the most money right now. And I understand what you're saying about liking New England in the beginning because the last 5 Super Bowls, the last 5 Super Bowls, the underdog has covered the spread. The Patriots as well have won 16 of their last 17 games. I mean, the team is hot. They only scored 10 points in Denver, but it was like a blizzard.
Exactly. And you know what? The NFL just in general, as you guys are well aware, man, these games come down to the wire seemingly almost every game. You just don't see. Many years ago, we were talking about it before you jumped on. Many years ago, it was a super blowout all the time. We just don't see that anymore, not only in the Super Bowl, but in the playoffs and just in a general season. These games are close. I don't want to speak for you, but I think that's what makes wagering fun is when everyone's got a shot to win their wager and it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that front too, you don't even have to wait till the fourth quarter to win some of these bets we offer. I mean, we have who's going to score the first touchdown of the game or even first quarter props. How many rushing yards or passing yards somebody might have in the first quarter. If you want to go get an early ticket. Just so many different ways you can bet on this game. I mean, the coin toss is even another fun one people like to bet.
All right, so money going toward the Seahawks money line, and that is just for those wondering. That's just to win the game outright. Forget about a point spread, just the money line. It's minus 230 at this point. Seahawks, if you want to go with the spread, that is where are you at now? Minus 4.5?
4.5 right now.
4.5. Wow, does it not seem like a field goal game? I don't know.
I mean, it seems like, both teams have been just consistently good all year. And I mean, it's not like these teams are getting blown out in their losses either. So, I agree. I think if I'd put my money on it, I'd be more comfortable taking the 4.5 points. Either my team's going to win or I can even lose and lose the game, but keep it close and I win my bet.
That's right. That's right. Austin, you know me. I would be more in my natural habitat if you guys were booking Sal Frelick to hit a home run on Sunday.
Hey, that's coming up. It's soon.
Yes, it is. All right, the over and under 45.5. That's roughly even money, correct?
Yeah, it's gonna be like minus 110 on both sides. Right now, I mean, 45.5. It's a lower number than normal for a Super Bowl. But we have, really strong defense in Seattle, and New England's defense isn't so bad either. So it's warranted, I think, a warranted low total.
Well, on that note, though, on the other side, though, when you do have two good defenses out there, be careful on that O and U, because if a defense scores, that usually pushes that over the top. So, yeah, defenses are good to keep the ultimate scoring down. But if the defenses are so good that they score themselves, then you're saying, okay, it's probably going to be an over. So be careful on that. That's a fun bet. I do tend to lean toward the under on this one, just from what you said, a couple of good defenses.
Or even special teams. I mean, we got Rashid Shaheed was a big trade addition for Seattle this year, and he's had some great returns. He could even bring one back.
Just returned one a few weeks ago in the postseason to open up that game.
Yeah.
Coin toss, tails at minus 103. That's a fun one.
Yeah, we're offering minus 103 on both sides, so reduced juice from our normal bets, just for the heads or tails. It's one of those fun bets you can get a little bit of money on right before the game even starts.
MVP, Sam Darnold. I mean, I like him. He's probably the front runner to win MVP. The value at plus 125.
I think it's a way that a lot of people are. I mean, that's our biggest bet right now for the MVP award. He's getting the most bets, and I think it's a lot of people saying, "Okay, I don't want to lay the big price on a money line on Seattle because I think that if they win, Darnold's going to have a big piece of that." So they're hoping to get that plus money on Darnold, but you just never know in these games. It could be someone that just gets a pick six. It could be someone that comes up with maybe 3 sacks. Or just, if they get close enough and they decide not to throw the ball at the 1 yard line and hand it off to the running back, get a couple touchdowns that way.
You get about 4-1 odds on a Kenneth Walker first TD of the game. I love the value there. They get inside that 5 yard line. Walker gets his hands on the football.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of just touching on it. The Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl from years ago where they did not hand it off to Marshawn Lynch and instead, threw the interception. I think they're going to remember that, and they're going to want to hand that ball off to Kenneth Walker.
Austin, a big weekend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Have a great time, and we appreciate your time here. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
All right, Austin Urdina, Potawatomi Sportsbook. Follow the money here on Wisconsin Sports